All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are live. It is Friday, and it is time for our weekly Market Watch, our real estate update for the week here in the Greater Portland, Midcoast, Maine area.
Yeah, so as usual, we'll bring you the stats, the latest news, and give you, an overview of what's happening in the market.
That's right. Okay, so let's, as usual, we're going to turn our attention first to the Greater Portland area.
Okay.
So looking at stats, there's currently 192 active listings on the market, which is actually down 20 from last week, which is not surprising going into the Thanksgiving holiday week. Often we'll see a little bit of a slowdown seasonally in the properties coming on the market.
People seem to want to at least pass the holidays before they get back in, and we're noticing that right now.
Yeah, we're hearing that also from our clients that are going to be selling. They want to be waiting until at least after the holidays, and many are even saying spring now, but we'll keep you posted on that. All right, that breaks out to 82 condos, 82 single-family homes, and 28 multi-family homes in the Greater Portland area. This past week, we have 14 closings in the Portland market. On the lower price end, the 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home with 1,400 square feet of finished space. That sold for $240,000 after only 16 days on the market.
That's a pretty quick sale.
Yup, and for context, our average days now on the entire MLS is running closer to 30.
Okay.
Right? So that just shows you that when things come on the market in that middle 200s, even if they're on the smaller side or fixer-upper side, they go very, very quickly.
Strong demand for that particular price point.
Yeah, absolutely. Our largest sale this week in terms of dollars was a new build, a new construction, single-family home on Westbrook Street. That's in the Stroudwater neighborhood, which we have a video on. You can look below if you're watching it on YouTube. We'll put a link below that to our other video. We covered the Stroudwater neighborhood. That was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,300 square foot home of living space. And that sold for 27 days on the market at just over $535,000. $535,000.
You'll notice a lot in the market nowadays, people either want to flip or they want something that's turnkey brand new.
Right.
So you'll see those newer ones flying off the shelves a little quicker.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good. Now turning attention to some Portland area news.
Okay, so University of Southern Maine, as you know, is here in Portland. Mm-hmm. Some pretty big news this week coming from them. So you may have heard in the past month, they're changing their name to the University of Maine at Portland.
Okay.
To be more representative of what they think they are within the system. Mm-hmm. And secondly, they are finally building a campus dorm on the premises on the Portland USM campus here. Wow. That's pretty good because in the past, you always had to shuttle between Gorham and Portland. Mm. And it was just kind of a pain, 20 to 30 minutes with rush hour. So this is pretty big news. It's the largest building project in the history of USM. And then the 2 buildings will be constructed with passive house techniques, meaning low energy consumption to keep them heated and cooled.
Awesome.
So some of the numbers of the project is 60,000 square foot student/career center, 550 bed student residence, and then it'll be a $49 million bond to help build it, which will be funded also through a private-public partnership with the construction company.
Right,
so
very often it's a municipal bond issue backed by the revenues of the student housing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anxious to see how that turns out.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Now turning our attention to the other market that we watch closely, which is the Casco Bay, particularly waterfront and water view properties. So as you know, Casco Bay goes from the area to the south on Cape Elizabeth, up around Portland to the north to the Phippsburg Peninsula. Right, that big sea in Casco Bay. So currently there's 118 active listings on the market, and that's down 6 from last week. Still a bit of a slowdown, but still a fairly good number of actives on the market there.
Sure.
Now there are 44 pendings on Casco Bay, which is, we see towards the end of the year, people basically either closing up, getting their properties sold at the end of the year. They've used them for the year. Not uncommon to see a little bit of a boost in the waterfront and the waterview properties coming up at the end of the year like that. There's 4 more under contract from the previous week.
Okay.
So up a little bit. This past week brought only 2 closings on the Casco Bay, the region. The smaller was a beach house located in a cottage community, which is similar ownership to a condo, where you actually own the But you own the actual cottage, and then you pay common fees and to share.
This particular one,
amenities, right.
exactly. They have the the amenities right on the water. They got the access to the beach, the clubhouse. So yeah, it's just like a condo, but it's a beach house style.
Yep. So that was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with almost 700 square feet of living space, so relatively small.
Yeah.
And that's sold for $340,000.
Okay.
So still a good price point. The higher price sale was a single-family colonial that was in Cumberland Foreside, an area that we watch fairly closely. It features 3 beds, 3 baths, almost 3,000 square feet.
Big house.
Yep, on half an acre, also a sizable lot for the Foreside. And that sold for just under $800,000 at $779,000 after only a week on the market.
So that's what I noticed about this one. It sold really fast. So strong demand for waterfront property.
Right.
And at least this one must have been priced well to move.
That's right. When the property is priced well, that's when they move.
Right.
If the house isn't selling, the price probably isn't compelling. So
it's always price, right?
Well, a good part of it, potentially, yeah. All righty, now let's turn our attention to some Casco Bay news.
Sure. So one thing I was reading about this week, one of the concerns of Casco Bay, in a greater sense the Gulf of Maine, is the warming waters. They're warming at a rate about twice the global average. Okay. So for us, that's a concern because of all the fisheries here. The lobsters prefer colder water as well as other fish species. So a local nonprofit will soon be adding 2 state-of-the-art water monitoring systems to Casco Bay in hopes of better tracking the changing conditions within the Gulf. This is the Friends of Casco Bay. They will collect data 24/7 from everything from water temperature to acidity of the water. And then this is an improvement for them. They collected water samples by hand for 30 years, so now it'll be automatic. They're putting the new stations, one by Cousins Island, and then one right in Portland Harbor. And then Kathy Ramsdale with Friends of Casco Bay says the data sets will help them look at and have the hard conversations that lie ahead. So it's all about protecting our resources as we have them and making sure we understand the changes coming.
That's right. Really important. I mean, here in Maine, water is some of the most water of any of the 50 states.
We're longest coastline.
Right, longest coastline, lakes, peninsulas, islands. So obviously the water is super important to us here in Maine to keep it well preserved and keep the ecosystem healthy.
Yeah, so I'm glad these guys are on top of it for sure.
Absolutely. Well, perfect. Well, that's it for this week's roundup for our weekly Market Watch. We do this every Friday, usually about noontime, about the time it is right now. So tune back then. We'll upload this also to be on our Facebook page. It'll also be on our YouTube channel, which is growing every day. New videos coming out every week about what it's like to live, work, and play in Portland, Maine. We've got videos about neighborhoods, the cost of living, the weather, winter activities. So if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, please hop over there. If you're on Facebook right now, check it out. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell so you get notifications.
And we're how many subscribers from 100 right now?
About 3 or 4 away from 100, yeah.
So give us that final push.
Right. The first 100 is important because that's how we rank on YouTube. They look for that 100 to make sure you're a legitimate channel. And also really important is we are working with people that are contacting us now from all over the country, looking to relocate, to come to Portland, Maine.
Right.
We absolutely love it. We love working with people coming from out of town.
Yeah, as you can tell, we love talking about Portland, showing it. We got daily tours going on, so reach out, send the smoke signals.
That's right. Right. DM us, message us. All the contact info is going to be on our Facebook page or our YouTube in the description below. And, don't be a stranger. Reach out to us. We'd love to help you. And guess we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Take care, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
And happy Thanksgiving.
That's right. Happy Thanksgiving.